Communication is going to be the most powerful skill, the most important skill in coming days. And to become a good communicator, we'll have to understand few elements which are the most important elements to become a good and powerful communicator. Now, we keep listening about the communication and all those points, and they will be listing maybe 50 points or 101 points, but those are not that important. Let's look at the main points which are most important. If you can focus on these areas, I'm very sure that you can really do great job at becoming a good communicator. The first point is understanding the audience with whom you are interacting, the person with whom you are interacting. And for that, you will have to listen. If you are talking to an audience, you will have to understand that what type of audience is that. If it is a primary school students, then that audience is different from the office goers or the young adults or the teenagers or the college students. So you will have to understand that audience, and for that you'll have to do the research, or if you're talking to a person, you'll have to listen to that person. The second thing is clarity. Whatever you are talking about, it has to be clear. It should be in short sentences, simple sentences. So that simplicity has to be there, and that clarity has to be there, what you are talking about. Then the other point comes is the genuineness. Because if you are not trustworthy, and whatever you are speaking, if that can't be believed, because you don't have that character, you don't have that personality, then those words will fall flat, and even if you are using all these elements, that's not going to work. So that's a very important point. The character, what you have, the personality, what you have. Then whatever the words what you are speaking, they has to be authentic. Because if you are using information, or if you are giving some data, and that is not relevant, or if you're just making up something, so that's not going to work. So that authenticity has to be there. Your talks has to be interesting. If you're just talking about yourself, that's not interesting. You have to have that common points or common areas where that interest lies. Or if you don't know anything about, so if you're talking about that person or anything that interests that person, that's going to work. Then relevance, that's a very important point, because if you are talking about office at your home, it's not going to work. Or if you are talking about your family in office, or your personal problem in office, that's not going to work. So the relevance of that moment is very important. Then time, optimality is a very important area. If you're not optimal with your time, because if you're just stretching your talks, or because you don't know to put all those points in very clear or simple words, then that optimality is not there. It means that you are wasting time and you become boring. And the last point is real-time effectiveness. At that moment, the environment can be different, the mood can be different. So you may know a person, but based upon that environment and that mood, you will have to change your talk, and you will have to synchronize your talk based upon that real-time environment or real-time mood. So let's revise everything. Understanding, you will have to understand the other person by listening to that person or doing some research about it. Clarity, simplicity, whatever you are saying. You have to be genuine, you have to be trustworthy. Whatever you're saying or what you are talking about means something. So that depends upon your character, that's the main area. And the image what you have created in front of other people. And that will be based upon your character or the actions what you have done before. Your words has to be authentic. You should not be using just anything or what you are or anything made up. You have to be interesting, you have to be relevant, which is relevance for that moment or for that person. You have to be optimal with the time that you are having that conversation, and you have to be real-time effective at that moment, the environment and the mood. So you'll have to be very much careful about it. So start focusing on these areas, and I'm not saying that you're going to become master in few days or few weeks or even few months, but if you start focusing on these areas, I'm sure that you are going to become a good communicator in coming days and coming weeks and coming months.